September 1st. We're still standing in place. Episode 22. I say that with confidence this week because I actually looked back at the other posts to make sure which one this is going to be. I hope you're all doing well. I come to you with very, very important subject matter. Tonight, I wish to talk to you about the puzzle craze of COVID 2020. The madness that ensued when everybody decided that what they needed to do was become a puzzler. A puzzler? Is it a puzzler? Are you a puzzler if you assemble puzzles at a high frequency? Or maybe not even a high frequency, at a low frequency, but you spend a lot of time doing it? I don't know what that makes you. What is a proper title for a person that puzzles? And does it include all puzzles? That's another question. Is it just the puzzles that are like the little cardboard pieces that you stick together? Or would it also include like I solved Sudoku or crossword or jumble? Would a puzzler encompass all of these different puzzling skill sets? These are the questions that we need answered. I know in the world there's a lot of things going on that people feel needs their attention. But what do you call a person that puzzles? And is puzzling even a verb? Googling became a verb somehow. Is puzzling a verb? The puzzle craze of 2020, the COVID puzzle craze, intrigues me quite a bit because I don't understand how that became the thing that everybody felt they needed to do. People that never put puzzles together all of a sudden are ordering puzzles from Japan for $100 a pop and willing to wait a month and a half to receive them so that they can COVID sit down and put a puzzle together. And I don't get it. I've never had, maybe as a kid I had a desire to put a puzzle together, but it was a trick because I had a G.I. Joe puzzle and I like G.I. Joe and I just wanted to see what the poster looked like, which is a complete scam anyhow because the picture's on the outside of the box. So you can look at the outside of the box. There's the fulfillment. But no, for some reason, if you make that same picture slightly larger and you spend a day and a half putting like cardboard pieces together to see a bumpy version of the same image, that's somehow more fulfilling. It's a trick. You know it's a trick. Puzzles began as a trick. I thought about this. I spent some time on the mental treadmill. What a convenient sign to have hanging behind me. I spent some time thinking about it, and I don't think I got nowhere. I think I got somewhere because I think I figured out why puzzles exist, or at least how they began. And this is my theory that I am sharing with you. You're welcome. I'm glad you tuned in. I'm pretty sure that the first puzzle was made back in a time when people painted on stuff like ceramic. So like somebody was painting, some lady or some dude painted a beautiful picture on a giant ceramic tile, and then they dropped the tile. Not on purpose, not because they were making a puzzle, but because they had an accident. But they were smart. And instead of considering it a failure and saying, oh my God, my painting is destroyed, they went and found some strangers and told them that they made an invention. They made something called a puzzle. And the challenge is that you need to take all these pieces and assemble them into a piece of artwork. In fact, the piece of artwork that was originally created on that piece of ceramic. And this is now a puzzle. So those people put it together and went, oh my God, this is incredible. We want more. So that painter continued to paint stuff on ceramic and smash it and then started selling it and made piles and piles of money. And probably during the Spanish flu, there was like ceramic puzzles, or there was probably cardboard by then. Maybe the flu before, since we only do this every 100 years, maybe the 1818 flu, there was ceramic puzzles. I bet that's what happened. I really do. Because the whole thing doesn't make any sense. You're making an image, a poster, and you print it on some like mediocre cardboard. Unless you get really fancy and get those like wood ones, and then they just cut it apart in odd shapes that sometimes don't fit only one way, which I've seen folks go crazy over that. So that you could sit there and put a bumpy poster together. What are you going to do with it? Like, I've seen people frame the poster or frame the puzzle when it's complete, which is just a bumpy version of what would have been a really great image if they would have just bought a print or bought a poster and framed that. So what is it really that much of an accomplishment that you want? Is someone going to walk into your house and go, wow, did you put together that bumpy Colorado flag puzzle yourself? That's amazing. They're not going to do that because they sell hundreds of these things. There's hundreds and thousands of people putting this. It's not like a unique accomplishment. Why would you display that? Maybe when you're a kid, like when I was a kid and I put that G.I. Joe thing together, for sure I wanted to glue it. But I was a kid and I didn't understand how life works yet. So to have a puzzle that I put together, it was an accomplishment. It was the accomplishments in my life at that time were minimal. I never made something from scratch. I mean, at this point in my life, I've put a bike together that I can ride. I could do stuff with. Like made a table or built something out of wood or like accomplished a task. I put together a bumpy poster. Somebody made a poster on paper that was too thick and cut it apart, and I put it back together. I want to look at that forever. No, it's ridiculous. And the posters have gotten, or the posters, that's what they are. They're bumpy posters. The puzzles have gotten ridiculous. Not only now are there images or paintings or cartoons. No, there's ones that are just a color. Just a color. This is the puzzle, this is the gray puzzle. That's a thing. You can spend a bunch of money to buy a gray sheet of cardboard that's been cut into pieces so that you can sit there and put it back together. It hurts. It hurts to know that that's what's going on. But that also kind of shows us where we are in life, in society. Like a puzzle could be described as a problem that needs to be solved. And in life, in your day-to-day, there's probably a ton of puzzles, right? There's problems that need to be solved. But we're at a point now where people have so few problems to solve that we pay money to have someone else send us broken shit so that we can put it back together and get a sense of accomplishment. It's bananas. It's bananas. And it's an industry, and there's people making money on it. There's people making money on people not having enough problems that they're buying them and having them shipped to their house. Ship me your problems. I will solve them. What's the outcome? You take a picture of it and put it on Instagram and go, I put this broken thing together. And then people look at it and go, hey, that's an awesome broken thing that you put together. Can you re-break it and send it to me so that I can put it together too? And then re-break it. And there's like people that exchange puzzles, puzzle trade, puzzle club. But they're fixing problems and then causing the problem again and then mailing the problem off to somebody else who's looking forward to receiving the problem so that they can solve it too. And it's not like the resolution's changed. It's the same resolution. It's the same picture. You look at the box, you're all making the same picture. It's not like someone came out with a unique resolution for the problem. Same problem, same fix. Same problem, same fix. Over and over again. Because people don't have enough actual difficulty in their own life that they purchase it in a cardboard box and have it mailed to their house. I do this. This is challenging. This is not something that is easy, right? but it's something I enjoy, and when it goes well, oh, I'm super stoked. And I'm hoping that all of this activity keeps me tuned up so that when I get to hold one of these things in front of human people again, I can do an alright job. So that's the reason I'm doing all that. It's a unique problem that's going to have an individual resolution and hopefully a positive outcome. It's not the same problem that everybody solves the same way, that we just keep passing from person to person. Weird. We live in a weird time. Weird time, weird world. Oh, man. I think a puzzle is an accident. I think most inventions are accidents, and I believe that's true. Another accidental invention, I have a suspicion, is gum. And I almost said bubble gum, but I really don't like the term bubble gum, because all gum is not for making bubbles. In fact, most gum is not for making bubbles. The gum that I tend to chew is just because it tastes good and it gives something for my mouth to do. I guess my mouth is bored. My mouth doesn't have enough challenges in its life that I have to find some for it, as in chewing something that begins with a lot of flavor and then slowly degrades to something with no flavor and becomes harder. It doesn't become easier to chew, it becomes harder to chew. But that's to challenge my mouth, to keep it fit. But I believe that gum was a mistake too. Gum was an accident. Gum is food that didn't work. Gum, somewhere along the way, a person found whatever the original gum was made of. They were like, I'm going to eat that, and started chewing it and realized that it never became less. It just continued to be that substance, and they could chew it for hours. And maybe at that time there was no such thing as brushing teeth, and they realized that this makes their teeth like a little bit cleaner or something. Their teeth don't fall out, or skull is quick. And it became gum, which I wish I would have looked up where the history of that word is. Where'd you come up with this 3-letter word to describe something that you chew till eternity? Gum. That's what they came up with. I think that was a mistake too. It's another marketing ploy. It's food that didn't work, and they went, we'll sell it that way. Here's food that you can keep eating and never goes into your body. In fact, you have to put it in your mouth, and then later you have to find a way to dispose of this thing that isn't swallowing. Did your parents ever tell you that if you swallow gum, you're going to blow bubbles out of your ass? That's what my parents told me. Because I used to swallow gum. I used to eat gum. I thought it was delicious. But they said eventually I'll just have like pink poopy bubbles. And that I shouldn't swallow the gum. I don't chew pink gum anymore. I chew like green. I like minty gums, like wintergreen. Wintergreen is mints, but wintergreen, spearmint, things like that. Was it, I think 5 gum is the one that I usually get. It's nice. I believe that most inventions are accidents. And that's just 2 examples. And you know what? I think that's going to be our time for tonight. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you're holding it together. I've got my red lights on to support live performances and trying to keep that industry alive, because it's a place that I hope to end up. And if I don't end up there, it's still a place that I sure as hell enjoy going to observe. I miss going to shows. They're slowly coming back. We'll get it going again soon. Mask up and go laugh. I miss concerts, miss bands, but it's all going to come back. But we got to support those guys until we can. So, yeah, that's it for tonight. Let's run this thing back in a week. Keep it together. Get outside. Get your vitamin D. Wear a mask. Be cool. All those things. Respect each other. So simple. Just respect each other. A lot of the problems you can see right now, freaking just try respecting each other, and a lot of those problems go away. No more preaching. Gum's ridiculous. No, gum's fantastic. Puzzles are ridiculous. And good night.